Hey, what's up guys, it's Destructive here, and if you're a fan of Helldivers, you probably recall last week that Arrowhead Games dropped a new teaser trailer. The title of this teaser was Turn Up the Heat, and there's a free content update that's coming to Helldivers, meaning it's like DLC in the same form of way, except that it's free. And everything that's coming in it, of course, is free to everyone that plays Helldivers, or that owns Helldivers. You all get free access to it. But the teaser was very short, in which case it was very hard, or at least it was very difficult for me to track everything that was going on, and to realize exactly what kind of free stuff I was actually getting. So I decided to break down the trailer and watch it over and over, even frame by frame at some points, to try to get everything that's going on in the trailer and compile it into a nice, digestible paragraph, I guess I can say. But I wind up saying, hey, you know what, why not put it in a video form and put it up on my channel so you guys can tell too, so that you guys overall would know what's going on. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Now, one of the new things that's coming with the new Turn Up the Heat update is new weapons, of course, and there were 4 shown off in the teaser. I'm pretty sure that's probably around the number that we'll be seeing for when the DLC drops or the update drops. We'll probably be seeing those 4 weapons, and I wouldn't believe that there would probably be more out there. Those will probably come with later expansions and DLCs, of course. One of which is seen very early is one being used by De Silva, and it is the Tox 13 Avenger. Now, if you check it in, of course, in the screenshot that's now provided, you can see him spraying. It's somewhat of a flamethrower meets acid gun, I guess I can say. Instead of spraying flames, it seems like it's spraying more like acid. This seems to be similar to the acid that one of the bugs use. You know, the little cloaking guys that like to bite you and poison you and stuff like that. This seems to be the same type of acid as the same type of slowed effect. If you can see it, and I think it's 14 seconds into the video, you'll see him spray a couple bugs with it, and you see the slowing effect on them as well. Same thing that Helldivers usually experience, but now we can use it against them, of course. Now, one thing I have been able to confirm is that the Tox 13, the Avenger, whatever you want to call it, it's called the Avenger, I guess you can say, or the acid gun. It is a stratagem weapon, so you do have to input that those commands in when you call in stratagems, of course. Same way you call in rocket launchers and the 17, even the Flam 40, which is actually somewhat very related to this because they look like they're nearly the same type of weapon. I mean, they're both spraying some kind of vicious face-melting goop onto your enemies, of course. Now, the reason why I'm strongly saying this is stratagem weapons because later on in the teaser you do see when they're operating in a different area that there's a hell pod that had dropped, and the hell pod contained the Tox 13 Avenger, which is actually the same weapon right here. At least I hope so. I mean, I'm looking at it from there, then I'm looking at it here, and Tox 13, I mean, how many weapons can be the Tox 13? It's got to be the right one, right? Alright, moving on. The next weapon can be found at around 016. We will see, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, Si Zhang's new assault rifle. You can look down in the towel for his character, of course, and see the weapon down there, and it looks like an assault rifle. Even the clip loadout is like an assault rifle. He has a standard ammunition, just like an assault rifle, of course, and then you also see it firing, which looks just like an assault rifle. So that's what led to the speculation that it's an assault rifle. It's pretty clear it's an assault rifle. Sorry, I've said that so many times. One thing for certain is that it's a very exotic looking assault rifle. If you look down that tower right there, can't really gauge the damage or the fire rate or anything like that. It seems like a good overall probably kind of weapon. I'm gonna say that it's probably a decent assault rifle. I probably will fall in love with it just by looking at it right now. But like I said, you can't go really by the stats right now because of course we can't see these, and you don't know what difficulty they're playing on right now, so you can't really gauge by their destructive power. But just knowing that a new assault rifle is coming in is awesome news to hear, of course. I honestly cannot wait to go fire that thing off. Now, the third weapon that I did spot later on in the trailer was the new laser weapon. It's used by, once again, I hope I pronounced this correctly, I believe it's B. Devo. He's the second character, or when the bottom of the screen, if you look at the player tiles, he's the second character there, and he seems to be firing a new laser weapon of some sort. You can't really gauge if it's some type of laser SMG or some laser rifle, something like that. Either way, it looks like a beam weapon. Uses the same type of coolant as the laser rifle and the other laser rifle, of course, whether it's the sickle and the scythe. But you know, like I said, from the assault rifle, you can't really tell too much by what they're doing on screen because it's just about a small amount of time that you do get to see it. But knowing that there's a new laser weapon going in is pretty cool. There are only 2 in there right now, not including the stratagem weapon, of course. But like I said, good news to know that that's coming in there as well. Now the fourth and most interesting weapon, and the hardest one to spot, of course. I would took some time to figure out exactly what he was doing or what this weapon exactly was, but if you move on to like 30 seconds into the video, you'll be able to see A. Arison's new lightning weapon, or arc weapon, whichever one you want to call it. It is exactly what I just said it is. It's an arc weapon or lightning weapon. It's a new one in the game. There is only one, as you know, is the arc thrower, of course. To see another arc weapon with so much fan rejection of the arc thrower is pretty interesting for itself, but the design of it looks kind of misleading, if I'm just gonna say. Not in a bad way, of course, but just like if you look down the player card for A. Arison, it almost looks like a machine gun of some sort, and that's what I figured it was, but I never could find him shooting it. And then finally I grabbed one screenshot, or just like a couple of frames, and he just blasted these freaking bugs with it. You know, I kept missing it because I kept seeing giant tentacles there, if you can see them in the screenshot. And it's actually a lightning weapon, and I really want to see how this thing's going to work, because if they made another lightning weapon, it's honestly, and it's obviously going to be more diverse than the other one. You know, it's going to have to stand out, so I wonder what's going to be the capabilities of this one. Seeing that it does look somewhat like a machine gun, maybe it's a heavier version, which would be cool, because one of the main complaints with the arc thrower was that it would take still more than one shock of a full blast to destroy like armored units and such, and to see if they got a heavier version of this thing would be awesome. You're still going to end up frying your buddies, of course, but you may kill your enemies as well. Whoops, I made a mistake and missed a weapon actually. I know I've been saying 4, 4, 4, but there are actually 5, including that Stratagem Avenger, and that is the weapon that's being held by D. Silver and various other screens. Thing is, I never got to see the thing in action, which is why I forgot about it. It's, if you can look at the thumbnail right now, it's basically just a rifle of some sort. I'm really hoping that it's a semi-automatic in some case. Single fire rifle, because that would be freaking awesome, of course. Something to bridge the gap between assault rifle and sniper rifle would be freaking sweet, honestly. But yeah, he never does fire the weapon in the trailer. It's very odd. I just don't know how they didn't get a clip of it. I don't know if they did it on purpose just to like antagonize me in some way. But yeah, he's usually in the Mech. He's using the Avenger. He's reloading the gun. It's just like every chance you do get to see this, he's always doing something else. So you kind of just miss overall everything with it. But like I said, I hope it looks like, from the design of it. I mean, I'm no expert on weapons or firearms in any way, but I do know my stuff, and I really do think that it's probably a semi-automatic weapon in some sort of way. And I probably am saying that because I really hope it is. So let's just cross our fingers and hope that's right, because then I'm not wrong. Now, those were the 4 weapons that will be releasing with the Turn Up the Heat update, but those weren't the only offensive equipment that the Helldivers will be coming with. Another thing that's coming to it is deployable explosives, what people are calling now C4, which I don't think is the right name for it. Reason for that is because, I mean, how far in the future are we? It's got to be like C5 or C6, maybe even like C7, something along those lines. But either way, it's deployable explosives, and it most likely is remote explosives, because it's seen in 2 different parts of the trailer. At one part it's at 22 seconds in, where you see them throw out the 2 pieces and detonate them on the bugs. I don't think they're proximity charges. I honestly do believe that they are likely to be remote explosives, just because, there's a remote in his hand right now. If you look closely, you'll see on B. DeVoe's player card is that he has 1 more of these explosives left, of course, and you see the remote that he's holding. And honestly, it's probably, you press L2 to throw out the explosives, R2 to detonate the explosives. I do not know how many he probably comes with, but it seems like this is probably a stratagem type thing, because it takes up the spot, not of the grenades or any such thing as that. It takes the spot of his primary when he switches out his primary. So it's probably something you drop down with the stratagem, and it's probably a satchel pack of some sort, containing maybe somewhere around 3 to 4 explosives. I'm hoping for 4. I mean, he's thrown out 2. He still has 1 left. Let's just hope that he used 1 before that. More explosives, of course, means more boom, meaning more dead bugs, of course. But yeah, like I said, remote explosives, pretty cool. I really do look forward to this. This is going to be making ambushes so much easier. When they're chasing you down, these things are going to be like lifesavers, honestly. And I can't wait to see the upgrades for it. I can only imagine what kind of upgrade this is at at the 3rd level or something like that. Like, extra explosives, larger blast radius, maybe incendiary, something cool, of course. Cannot wait to see that. Alright, so this next one, you guys already know it. I don't even have to say it. It is what's being dubbed the Super Mech. Later on scene at 31 seconds into the video, you get to see this massive, what looks like a more armed mech, which was funny because people were saying the current mech, the Exo something something Walker, is somewhat overpowered, and it just had a lot of ammunition. It was a very I wouldn't say overpowered, actually. It just overperformed. It did its job and then beyond that. But we will be seeing a new one. D Silva is right here in the screenshot, of course, using it. And it doesn't seem to be armed with rocket launchers this time. There's no missile pod on the other arm. It seems they swapped it out for a minigun. But I don't think this is the same minigun. This seems to be, if you watch the trailer in action, a heavy caliber minigun. And it seems to be doing some really destructive power. I don't think it'll be anti-tank. This is probably an anti-infantry version of it. If so, I hope that maybe we can get some lighter armor in it. I know that means that you will die quicker, but it also means that it would move a lot faster, which would be awesome. But yeah, strange thing to see that, you know, this super mech come into the form, and to be sporting 2 miniguns instead. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see this overall, of course. Now, moving away from the weapons of mass or lesser destruction is the beauty of the game, the environments, of course. Helldivers has some very luscious, beautiful environments. Surprised the hell out of me, I'm not even gonna lie. And what it seems to be in the teaser is a new environment coming in. As you can see in the screenshot, it seems to maybe even be a magma type planet or a lava planet. Can't remember the difference between the two. I know one's molten rock, the other one's got to be below the Earth's crust. Either way, that does not matter at this time, of course. Don't quiz me. But yes, it seems to be maybe a magma planet of some sort, or just an update to the desert planets. No, it's got to be a magma planet. I don't know how to think about it. Either way, it's going to be pretty cool to see. Of course, a new environment is going to be awesome. I wonder if this will bring new challenges to it, because remember, the snow has that movement debuff. Basically, these swamps or the forest ones have the water that really gets in the way as well. A lot of the sites are located there, like the launch pads and the capture points. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what this is about. Maybe it'll just be another flat terrain, dry type of thing we can go with, and we won't have to worry about so much about, you know, being slowed by snow and stuff like that. And the fact that a 4th environmental type is coming into the game is awesome, because that means less snow planets, which is really, really awesome, honestly. But at the same time, like I said, I wonder what kind of environmental hazards may come into it. Seeing it as a magma planet or a lava planet or something maybe of that nature, let's just say that it is at this point, I wonder if we're going to have seen, like, you know, small eruptions, like you see them across this rocky bridge right here. What if the magma or lava just erupted, or just spit up a quick gust, a quick splurt of, like, I don't know, lava across that bridge? That would be pretty disasterful, of course, for probably Silva, because he's the closest one to that bridge. There'd probably be some type of warning system in place, you know, like a glowing area, like, you know, get out of here, you know, you're gonna get burned to death. But yeah, I do wonder about that. It would make a nice twist to the environmental types. The fact that, you know, there's freaking lava just shooting at the ground in certain areas, maybe some geysers or something. It's just pretty interesting to see that this is their next step for environmental hazards, or I'm sorry, environmental updates, you know, a new planetary type that's like this. Now, that was the only environmental type, or, you know, serious thing I can say about the environment that's changed, probably, that was seen in the teaser. So we're going to move on to, of course, new enemies. And I know you guys already know these, but at around 14 seconds in, you can check into the screenshot. At the top of the screen is that dark armored new bug type. And yes, it is a bug type, because there are other bugs on the screen, and I don't think they're going to mix races right now. We can see that maybe some point later in the future, but right now in the turn of the update, I don't think we'll be seeing multi-race planets, which would be pretty cool, honestly. That would be pretty damn interesting now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, but focusing on to debug, I'm just nailing the dark armored elite bug right now. I'm gonna guess he's somewhere in between the lesser armored grunts and the tank. What's most interesting is that his armor is darker than all the other ones, and at the same time, it has a different mechanic to it. He does have a weak spot, much like the tanks and the behemoths, but it's in the front. But the only way to shoot this weak spot is for him to move those 2 forward pincers, which are kind of shielded at the same time. And it doesn't seem like he moves them much, but he does move them if he gets attacking range, which is going to be an interesting type of fighting mechanic there, to know that you have to get close enough and then maybe back up a little bit and open fire, or you got to play rabbit, basically. You run up, trigger him to move his pincers into attack, get out the way, and a partner shoots. it'd be pretty interesting to see what happens. Depending on the speed that you're down, and maybe you can do like some nice dive forward and hit the ground at the same time someone shoots over your head and just obliterates the thing. That would be really freaking awesome, honestly. But like I said, the fact that these pincers are what shields his weak spot, and you have to close in range, or he has to be in attack mode in order to reveal his weak spot, is going to be pretty damn interesting, honestly. Now, I do imagine that just looking at his armor, it looks very formidable. I would say that it's probably not going to, armor piercing rounds are probably not going to have any effect on it. Maybe they will. Maybe anything less than that won't have any effect on them. Pretty sure, of course, anti-armor weapons are going to do the trick. You know, if you fire a recoilless rifle or E17, you should be able to down this guy. If not, he's going to be quite the adversary, honestly. Now, jumping back into the 31-second mark in the video, you'll see right before Harrison fires his new lightning weapon, there's, like I said earlier, those giant tentacles that come out the ground and just start flinging all over the place. What I thought was maybe some type of environmental hazard, of course. It was just like, you know, maybe there's something else below the ground that causes trouble. I immediately remembered, no, this has got to be an enemy. It's the only thing that would happen, and it's probably the worst thing that could probably happen at a capture site. If you look closely at it, you see glowing spots on the tentacles, which signifies that he is a bug type, of course. This is going to be pretty damn interesting, because I only wonder how or what signs show that he's going to come out the ground. If it's in only select areas, or once you trigger him, does he follow you? Does he change positions, or is it just that one area of denial type of tentacle thing? Another thing to think about is, will he be able to harm his own teammates? I did not see in the teaser there, but that's also one thing I want to wonder, because I mean, if you can lure them into his trap and then get him to sway around a bit, you know, maybe you can take out a good group of guys. That would be awesome, honestly, as well as his defensive capabilities, of course. That I do wonder about as well. Seeing that it's just these giant tentacles that sway around, you would think, okay, maybe my guy can get knocked around a bit, but at the same time, because it's so restrictive in range, I mean, you have to be near him, it may be one of those one-hit kind of things, in which case it's going to be pretty scary to fight this thing, of course. I'm also wondering, like I said, if it's going to be in one location, you know, if he pops at the ground just there in that one spot, can they avoid him by going somewhere else? Or if the fight moves a couple of spaces north of the screen or to the right, up, down, whichever way, will he follow? If it does not move, you know, like your screen does not move, if you just take a couple spaces away, does he burrow back on the ground, just shift a couple meters forward? Like I said, I do wonder, is there any movement to him, or will he be just a stationary area denial type of enemy, in which case that would be awesome because you can avoid him. But it also means that, you know, you can avoid him, so therefore if he's not strategically placed, then there's no serious threat there. It's more like, you know, surprise, I'm here, and then you're like, run away. In which case, you know, that's pretty much his interaction. You can just avoid him. Like I said, it's going to be pretty terrible if he can move around, because if he particularly gets near a launch pad, I'm pretty sure there's probably some vicious amount of damage that can come from those tentacles, especially repeated strikes. So if he does come out, that's going to be something that's really difficult to fight. It may put the bugs on par with the Illuminus when it comes to defending launch pads, which is terrible because the Illuminus have the snipers, and the bugs have these tentacle things that come up the ground at like any spot. That's going to be something else, of course. But then again, maybe he's, and we can cross our fingers, but maybe he's an objective himself. You know, you have to take out this giant tentacle monster. Which would be awesome if, like, that's actually a part of a bigger beast that you gotta hunt down. That would be really freaking cool if we got on some, like, serious, like, you know, Queen's Nest hunt mission. That would be awesome. One thing I did wonder and hope for with the Bugs home planet was that I hope that actually all the home planets were some of a step forward than the typical maps, such as maybe the Illuminus, you're going through like some futuristic city, or the Bugs, you're actually in some subterranean nest, which would be hell now that I think about it, because at the same time, if you're underground, that means you can't call anything. But like I said, this would be cool mechanics to see later on in the future. Hopefully they consider this. That would be awesome. Okay, so those were the only two new enemies that I saw in the teaser. Unfortunately, they were both Bugs, so I do wonder, will we be seeing some other enemies for the Illuminus and the Cyborgs as well with this update, or will they come with another update? Maybe there's just new units to each particular race per update, which would be okay with. I mean, I don't mind that. I love the Bugs the most, so seeing them get 2 new units is freaking awesome, honestly. But moving on from that is the objectives that we'll be seeing, the new objectives we'll be seeing, which is really freaking cool, because new objectives means new ways to play, and new ways to play gives me more reason to play the game, of course. And first up is the shield thingy that it seems that the entire squad was shooting at, except for Anderson, who was unfortunately KIA at the time. Okay, yeah, I did just call this thing a shield thingy because I have no idea exactly what it is, but you can look at the screenshot there and see that it is some type of either energy source or some power source or some shielded source for the Illuminus, of course. And it seems to be probably either supplying something with a shield or energy that is off the screen currently, because you see that blue beam going, of course, off the screen. Also, what you can see here is D Silva reloading his new rifle or weapon, whatever it is. Like I said, you can never spot him firing it. He had one more shot at it, but he wouldn't fire it. Instead, he reloads it, which is why I'm like, I really wonder what this gun is, of course. Yeah, I really do wonder what it is. Like I said, by the aesthetics, it looks like a semi-automatic weapon. But like I said, I'm going to try not to focus on that right now. Some of this shield thingy that's right here on the screen that's doing whatever it is just doing. But like I said, it seems to be powering or shielding something that is off the screen currently, and they all are firing on it. And I doubt they're firing on it just because, you know, they've all got cool guns and they don't have the time to revive Arison, of course. You know, if he's dead, he's dead. It's his own fault. He probably killed himself. But it seems that they're all shooting this, which means it's probably leading to a new objective of some sort, which would be pretty cool to see. It would be even cooler if it's maybe an attachment to the beacons already. Maybe they've used some type of external power source now, and instead of taking out the shield just by blasting it a bunch, you have to take down these shield projectors or these energy supplies and then move on to it, which would be pretty cool, of course. I would expect probably a longer regen cycle or regen speed to these shields, of course, because you gotta go somewhere off screen to go shoot this thing and then come back to destroy the beacon. That would be, you know, a lot of time use, and that shield does recharge pretty quick. So it's either, and most likely, a new objective of some sort. It's probably blocking something, shielding something of some nature or way, and either way, I cannot wait to see what this is. Now, way back in the beginning, at around 9 seconds of the video, was the first objective that was shown. It is the perform the geological, geographical survey, which is probably some sort of sample gathering, or maybe you're just sitting down and filling out bubbles in a survey. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe they have a pop-up that's fill out this survey and you get free music or something of that nature. I mean, I have no idea what it is. I didn't see them use it or accomplish this in the teaser, of course. There was no footage of that, but they did pull it off once, and they started to do it another time. I saw another screenshot where they had that objective as well. Like I said, it's a new objective that's coming to the game. Pretty interesting thing. I wonder what this is about. I have like absolutely no idea, of course. It's just text at this point. But moving on, later on at around 22 seconds into the video, you'll see, or the teaser, you'll see another objective up in the top right of the screen. Of course, you can see in the screenshot right here. It is the second objective that you see there on the screen, and it's the repair and fire artillery. This, of course, is not in the base game right now. It is something that comes with the update. And once again, did not see them accomplish this. At least I think not. I really do think not. I'll show you why I just think not. And honestly, I do wonder what's going to go on here. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're going to repair something and they're going to fire something, of course. But it's a pretty cool dynamic right there. This would be an interesting situation, because this is probably another one of those defend type situations in which you probably have one guy repairing and the rest of them trying to defend him. And then as well as you have to fire this thing, which is probably just input in some code, and it'll fire the artillery, of course. It's probably like the launch pads. But to know there's another defend mission coming in there, that's going to be quite tricky. This is just another one I don't have too much information on, of course. You're going to get grasped so much out of 42 seconds of a trailer, and then a good 10 seconds of it was like text, or maybe like 15 seconds of text, so it's like 30 seconds or so of teaser footage, and it was just really small snippets. Did not get to see them repair and fire this artillery into the face of some bug, but just knowing it's there, another objective that's coming to the game, is really cool, because it'll shake things up and give us some more things to do per mission. Of course, we won't be seeing 5 capture sites, or, you know, all launch pads and 3 groups of survivors, you know, that kind of stuff we just won't see, because of course there are more updates and more objectives coming into the game. Now, at around 25 seconds, which is a couple seconds away from where I just left off at, of course, is what seems to be a new defensive objective, of course. It says defend, and then it says something about updating. I don't know what that is exactly there. Like I said, I don't know exactly what the repair and fire artillery is, but the reason why I said I think that I don't know is because this right here could be it, of course. That defend platform right there does look something like a cannon poking out of the ground. I know in some weird way, maybe I'm just like, you know, grasping at straws here, but it could be interpreted as a cannon, of course. And what looks down there that's updated looks like a satellite of some sort. They probably have repaired the artillery already, if this is artillery, of course. They have already repaired it and repaired it, I mean, and set it up and maybe update into fire, of course. You made the defender for a couple more seconds while it adjusts and does all the micro transitions and stuff and pinpoints whatever it has to fire at, and then, you know, fire. This looks to be that sort of kind of thing. If not, then it's just another objective, which would be cool, because that makes it like 6 objectives that are coming to the game. And honestly, the more the better, I mean, honestly. But this does look like what could be the repair and fired artillery. If not, like I said, then it's another objective that's coming in. Can't say much about it except that, you know, you have to defend this area, so it's another defensive type thing. And that timer is probably the time that you'll have to be defended for. Now, this next one is one you all you guys know. Of course, if you've seen the teaser trailer, you actually had a step ahead of me on this one. I did not see it the first time I watched it. An actual friend of mine that I was playing with did point it out to me that there is a minefield apparently there, and that these guys are apparently minesweeping. I don't know what I was looking at the time, but I think it was just my eyes had glazed over, and I was just like, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. And I was probably crying at the time. Who knows? But I really did not grab a lot of things out of the teaser by watching it the first time. And I should have watched it again because I would have seen this stuff. But good enough, that guy did help me out by saying, hey, did you see the minefield? And I was like, what? No. And he's like, yeah, there's a minefield. Watch back through the trailer, and here it is. Like I said, there's a minefield there. Pretty plain and simple. I did grab the screenshot where DeVoe was diffusing something, it seems, or he was supposed to diffuse something. It appears that there's a stratagem that you call in. I don't know if it will take up one of these stratagem slots. It probably will not. It may be special like the Helldiver bomb, or the Hell bomb, exactly. In which case it only pops up in your stratagem loadout when you're on mission. And there's a Hell bomb objective, of course, like, you know, the bug slants or the AA guns from the cyborgs or the Illuminate beacons. You only see the Hell bombs when you have these objectives. If you have this, it seems that you call in this stratagem, of course, and they already did call in them, and it drops off these minesweeper thingies. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is stratagems because you can see on De Silva's player card right above it, it seems to be on a cooldown right now. And it seems to take the space of the, the second weapon, the second primary weapon that you bring in, or a secondary weapon, not your pistol, but use that spot reserved for a rock launcher and such things that carry on. And it seems that they're sweeping the field for, I don't know what. Let's just hope it's mines. Let's actually just hope it's not mines, because, that wouldn't be so nice. I mean, he does find one and says diffuse, and he turns around and runs from it, which is pretty interesting. I mean, but then again, what do you expect from the guy that won't shoot his gun in the teaser? I'm sorry, I really want to see De Silva's gun. But that's not who it was. But DeVoe's, he walks up, he scans the thing, and it burrows out of the ground, which looks like a mine, and it says diffuse. And then he takes off running, I believe. Not much to really go on except that the Super Mech is looking all awesome over there. And that this selective field is where you'll be scanning, of course. Probably objective related. If it is, that's a new objective we'll be getting. I wonder what about it is so particularly, necessary. Because I doubt you just need to go on the mission and say, hey guys, I want you to go find mines in this selective remote area. It's like, why do we care? Honestly. I mean, maybe if you want to terraform the planet. I mean, honestly. You probably want to get rid of mines. So, okay, maybe they have their reasons. I'll just leave it at that. But either way, minefield objective possibly. Minesweeper freaking stratagem there. Awesome stuff. Now, I do have one last goodie for you guys. See at the very end of the trailer. It was actually really quick to spot. I'm happy I did. Is the stratagem preview is what I'm calling it right now. You get to see the silver stratagem loadout and even the budding combinations, such as for the what's dubbed the Super Mech, of course. It is the same sort of length as the other mech. It's not the same combination, of course. Each stratagem is diverse in which they have different combinations. But what you can see right above it is a new strike of some sort. It seems to be like maybe 3 rockets coming down in some sort of way. Not exactly the Thunder Strike, but something else. But what's notable about it is that it's only 4 buttons that you have to press in. In which case, that's usually the quick haul-in type of stratagems, like the dive bomber or the the gun run type of thing, where the 2 planes come in, or the plane comes in and shoots up the ground with rounds. It is one of those quick haul-in type of what I'm calling, like I said, quick haul stratagems. And seeing that it's rockets of some sorts, maybe it's some type of new anti-armor thing. Hopefully, it's more armor penetrated than the bunker buster form of the dive bomber. Honestly, I have no idea what it is because it wasn't seen in the teaser. This is the only form of way you could have seen it. But do you know that there's a new stratagem coming that's some form of quick calling, dive bombing, missile launching, something of that nature, of course. You are free to speculate all you want. I've been honestly enough. But just do know, there it is right there on the screen, as well as the combination. You can go ahead and start practicing it for calling in your mech, of course. There's the Super Mech's button combination. But one more thing to note is that there is no number associated with that stratagem. As you can see with the mech below, it says 1. That's because you only can call in the mech once, which is obvious enough. But that does not have a number below it. That being that offensive red stratagem there of that dive bomb and missile launcher thing, which means that it's on a time cooldown, probably a short one because it's that quick call type of stratagem. And since it has no number, that means we can call it in a limited amount of times. It may take the place of the dive bombers right now, and even my AT mines, depending on its anti-armor capabilities. But honestly, it's just good knowing that that does not have any restrictive, only 10 uses, only 15 uses kind of thing going there. Well, guys, that is all the information I have on the teaser. Of course, I'm sorry it took so long to get to it. I was preoccupied with a couple of things. Like I said, a couple of things. But do know that this is everything that's in the teaser, at least everything I could find. I dig deep into it, even looked around, and it was about all I could find. Sorry this video was so long, but there was just a lot of information to go over. There was a lot of things going on in that teaser. Despite being only like 40 or so seconds, and even less of it being gameplay, there was a lot going on there. I do give props to Arrowhead Games for squeezing so much into that teaser right there. That was pretty awesome. A lot of stuff going on there, and I don't quite think that's everything in that update. We probably have some other things that we'll see later on. But this is a general analysis, a breakdown of what's going down, and you can always go check out the teaser trailer. Honestly, it is the best idea to do, especially after watching this. Go check out the teaser trailer. You'll be able to see all the things in action, of course, spot them for yourself, and you may see something new. In which case you do, please do drop a comment down below. Let your fellow Helldivers know that, of course. If you have anything to argue or maybe some new information to throw in there, like I said, drop a comment down there. Would love to hear what you got to say. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later.